Hey everyone, and welcome. Have you ever felt like your mind is just a glass of murky water, constantly stirred up by thoughts and feelings? Well, today we're going to look at some ancient wisdom that can help us let all that sediment settle so we can finally see clearly.
It's a question we've all asked ourselves, right? You sit down to focus, maybe meditate, and suddenly your mind is just a hurricane of worries, to-do lists, and random thoughts. So why is that real inner quiet so incredibly hard to find?
So, an ancient text called the Yogacara Bhumishastra has this really fascinating answer. It talks about something called attendant afflictions. Now, think of these not as some big personal flaws, but more like subtle, sticky habits of the mind that are always there, clouding up our awareness and keeping us from feeling genuinely at peace.
So here's our game plan. First, we're going to get to know these afflictions. Then, we'll zoom in on 4 specific hurdles they create for anyone trying to be more mindful. After that, and this is the best part, we'll get into the actual practical tools the text gives us to deal with them. And then finally, we'll see what a mind that's free from all this static actually looks and feels like. All right, let's dive in. The big thing to remember here is that these afflictions, they're not like a report card on how good or bad you are. Not at all. They are universal human things. And the really good news? Once we learn to spot them, we can actually start to change how we relate to them. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? It's not that we can't focus, it's that these sneaky little mental habits are like a constant background static, a low hum of noise that makes it so hard to find that quiet, clear space we're all looking for. Let's kick things off with a classic pair, deceit and dishonesty. So deceit, that's when we try to cover up our mistakes. And dishonesty, that's when we pretend to be better or know more than we actually do. It's kind of like creating a perfect social media profile for our inner life, right? We get so busy managing the image that we completely lose touch with what's actually going on inside. Okay, next up, laziness and mindlessness. Now, laziness here isn't just about being tired. It's when our craving for comfort consistently wins out over our own good intentions. And its partner, mindlessness, this one is huge. It's that autopilot mode we all slip into, where we're not really present for what we're doing or why we're doing it. Definitely keep this one in mind because we're going to come back to it in a big way. So we've seen some of these general patterns that are kind of always running in the background, but now the text gets even more specific. It narrows in on 4 key challenges that honestly, anyone who's ever tried to build a practice will recognize immediately. So these are the big 4. First, there's that feeling of regret when we don't live up to our own standards. Second, the relentless, scattered mental chatter that we all know so well. Third, our often sticky and complicated relationship with our own bodies. And fourth, our powerful attachment to all the things and people out there in the world. Okay, but this is where it gets really good. The text doesn't just give us a list of our problems and say, good luck. No, it gives us super specific, practical tools. And the first one is a direct counter to that autopilot mode, that mindlessness we were just talking about. It's called right knowledge and attention. And it's pretty much what it sounds like. It's the simple but incredibly powerful act of paying attention on purpose. It's about remembering what we intended to do and then consciously choosing our actions instead of just running on old habits. You're basically taking the wheel back from the autopilot. And this slide just says it all. Look at that. On one side, you've got the fog of mindlessness. On the other, the sharp clarity of right knowledge and attention. The text is literally telling us, straight up, that with practice, we can use this specific tool to cut right through that confusion and find our center again. So that's a tool for our inner world. But what about the outer world? What about all the stuff we want, all the things we crave, all the experiences we're chasing? Well, the text has a powerful practice for that too. It's called attention on impurity. And I know, that sounds a little, intense, right? But it's not about being negative or gross. It's a technique for seeing things as they actually are, without the extra layer of glamour and fantasy and desire that our minds just automatically project onto them. It's about letting go of the story so we can actually appreciate the reality. And here we go again. Look at that direct, practical connection. The problem is our endless craving for external stuff, right? The solution is to see those things clearly, without the filter of our own wanting. And when we do that, the text says the craving just naturally begins to fade. The grip just loosens. So what's the whole point of this? What's the payoff for doing this inner work? Well, the text paints this really beautiful, really inspiring picture of what's possible when we start to untangle our minds from these afflictions. It's really a progression. As we work with these habits, our minds naturally get calmer, more stable. We start to tap into this genuine joy and ease that isn't dependent on getting what we want. And from that stable place, we can begin to see the world and ourselves with this profound new kind of clarity.
This one quote just ties it all together so perfectly. It's a simple formula. You notice the mental habits causing stress, you apply the right antidote with some gentle persistence, and the result is a mind that's clear, focused, and free.
So I'm going to leave you with this question to chew on. The next time you feel that familiar tug of distraction, or that pang of wanting something, or you just notice you've been on autopilot for the last 10 minutes, what if you didn't see it as a problem? What if instead you saw it as an invitation? An opportunity to practice, to learn, and to take one more small step toward a truly calm mind?